video is a special one because today celebrates my 23rd anniversary of becoming a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Hard to believe, right? So April 10th in 2002 is when I flew from my hometown of Comox over to Vancouver, where the first Stampin' Up! In Canada event was held with Shelley Gardner and all kinds of wonderful people, and I was one of the first demonstrators to join, and I did it as a bit of just a side gig, something fun. I would have loved to have jumped into it with both feet at the time, but I was working for the airlines, which was my career and something I was equally passionate about. So it wasn't until 2010 that I decided to turn my hobby into what it has become over the years, and it has brought me so much joy, most especially because of the relationships I've made, the friendships that I've made, the community such as this YouTube community, my team, my customers. It is unbelievable. I had no idea 23 years ago today how many blessings I would receive just from getting that starter kit, and I'm incredibly grateful to the company as well to all of you. So I wanted to do a fun little video for you guys. I have to stamp and make a card today to celebrate, right? It's only right to do that. So without further ado, let's start stamping. Look at these. Some of you will remember these. We used to get these from Stampin' Up! When I first joined the company, and they were really fun, awesome project sheets. This one was Loads of Love. This one was Burst into Bloom, and I sadly don't have any of these stamp sets anymore, at least not this morning when I was going through all of my stash, looking through all my wooden stamps. I thought for sure I would have some of these, but I don't. I actually was really bummed I don't have this stamp set anymore. I know, I loved that stamp set. Natural Beauty. I cannot believe I got rid of that set and kicking myself in the butt. But I will tell you, I had so much fun going through all of my cards this morning because I was trying to find the very first card I made, which used smiley faces, and I know a lot of you will remember that that stamp set. And I remember my cards were big, and I just struggled. And it wasn't until I joined Stampin' Up! That I started learning how to pull the colors together and the stamps together, and yeah, I've been pretty much addicted ever since. So I thought, how fun would it be to recreate a card using these old, I almost said vintage, but then that makes me feel vintage, but these project sheets from years gone by. I don't even know. Oh, this is 2011. This has 2006. Let's see, when was this one? 2005. And this one, 2006. Okay, and guess what? I have 2 packs of these project sheets. So, I have probably enough to send to, I'm gonna say, at least a dozen people. So if you would like to receive one of these project sheets, leave a comment below and I will draw names, and or I will pick names. I will find a way to choose a name, and I will happily send you a card. I will message you to get your mailing address, and I will pop one of these sheets in for you. In fact, let's say at least 20. I can send a person one of these, and then everybody, I can share them with more people is what I'm trying to say. So leave a comment below, and if you're interested in getting one of these inspiration sheets, they're called, I will reach out to you and happily send you some, because there's no sense me keeping these. Let's share them. And today I'm going to show you how to make cards using our current products. There's going to be one stamp set that I think is retired, and recreate some of these oldies but goodies. Okay, I am excited. Okay, so I've prepped a lot of things, And I'm going to start with using sketched butterflies, and my inspiration is going to come from this one. I love all the card samples on this. So I'm going to recreate this. That's my intention, okay? Can you see that? Pretty fun, pretty fun. And it was using lovely lilac. These colors are tempting turquoise, and they were colored with our Stampin' Pastel chalks. So I don't know, we'll see how we go along. I may come back and do something that uses the chalks, because you know I love my chalks, my pastels. But this is the card layout I'm going to do, and I'm going to first do it using sketched butterflies, and then I'm going to do it using framed scenes. Okay, let's get rocking and rolling. I have everything pre-cut to save a bit of time, and this is featuring a technique that's an oldie but a goodie. Okay, really, really cool. No coloring, so these are perfect basic cards when you just want to do simple cards, whether it be for teacher cards or thank you cards, or you need a quick birthday card. This is a fabulous way to do that. Okay, so let me just show you what I've got here. I'm using basic white card bases, and this one measures 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, folded in half, and this one I cut it so it's 11 by 4 1/4, also scored in half. Okay. Then the colors that I chose were Fresh Fuchsia and Highland Heather, okay, Balmy Blue and Pool Party. So these measure 3 by 2. I'm making multiple cards, which is why I have these different colors of cardstock. You basically want a light and a dark in the same family. And then these basic white pieces measure 2 1/4 by 3 1/4, okay? So let's start with these, because you're going to get 2 cards out of these pieces, right? Now back in the day, we used our Stampin' Jigs. Remember them? With their piece of plastic, they worked like a hot diggity. This is family channel, so I have to say hot diggity. But we have stamp positioning tools right now. Of course, Stampin' Up no longer sells their Stamparatus, but I know a lot of you either have this or another stamp positioning tool at home. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just lining it up with this hinge right here. And I'm going to put on my magnet. And I was just going to do it with my blocks, but I've just decided, you know what, I'm going to use my Stamparatus. Okay. So I'm lining up my butterfly, press it down, and I'm going to ink it with my black memento. And I'm actually going to make it darker. Nice. Now I'm going to do that with my Highland Heather. And I'm doing it in the blue so I can show you a little bit of a variation. Okay. Balmy Blue. This is such a fabulous technique. If this is new to you, I think you're going to love it. It's also a great way to use up bits of cardstock that you may have lying around. I just realized my nail polish is almost the same as Balmy Blue. Okay, and now my Pool Party. And as I'm stamping these, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like, look how fabulous these colors are together. How perfect for Easter or just spring. That's a fabulous color combination. I will have to remember that. Okay, so that's my my butterflies. I'm gonna clean that and tuck it away and pull in my framed scenes. So I just used the Stampin' Mist and my Old Faithful rag. I do have this Simply Chamois and all the, and my Stampin' Scrub is what I'm trying to say. And I just put my fingers right in my ink pad. Because, you know, keeping it real. Okay, I'm gonna flip these around. And for this one, I'm going to use this image right here. Okay, so again, I have that on my block because that's what I was intending on using. Same card bases that I just showed you, same pieces that I just showed you. I really enjoyed using this stamp set in my watercolor workshop, and I'm really excited to use it a lot more. I love stamps that have all these scenes, especially, oh my gosh, the lighthouse and living in Nova Scotia. I can't resist a stamp set with a lighthouse. Oh look, I jiggled and wiggled. Noticing on the inspiration sheet that they have the image up on Stampin' Dimensionals and then another layer of basic white on top of this piece of basic white. So I'm gonna improvise a little bit. Even all these years later, my friends, all these years later, I still get so excited with stamping. Okay, now I could probably do this one at a time, but I'm gonna cut them together. So I'm going to cut them right in half, which would be 1.5. But I'm going to cut them right together at the 1.5 inch mark. Okay, I'm going to do them all at once, but I'm going to keep them together so I don't get them mixed up. And then for the lighthouse, I'm going to cut it at 1 inch, right down the center. I have some scrap backing from my 12 by 12 paper packs, DSP packs in my scrap basket. So that's what I'm going to use. Cutting these the same size, 2 by 3, just a little bit smaller than that, just so I have a base to glue these onto. Okay, so I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on this piece. And then I'm going to put that piece on. Whoops. And then just line this one up right next to it, and look at how awesome is that. I like my glue because I've got the wiggle. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for all of them. I'm really excited to see how the lighthouse is going to look. Bit sideways, isn't it? There we go. Oh my goodness. Listen, if you love the look of stamp images like this, but you don't love the idea of coloring them, there's your solution. There's your solution. Oh my goodness, I love this technique so much. And it's been so long since I have done this technique. Isn't that nice? So any little bits that are just, you know, not quite exact, I can trim up, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to bring in my basic white and pop these on using Stampin' Dimensionals. Right. So here is that image. Love it. And then also from Framed Scenes, we have the lighthouse. Oh, this one needs to go on white paper. Hang on. There we go. Okay. The lighthouse. And then we have the butterflies in the blues. And the butterflies in the purples. Love, love, love. Okay. So that is going to make a lot of cards lickety split. Okay, see how on the sample that stamp image had those lines? I'm going to go ahead and just draw them in with my black marker. And also you may notice there's a lot more splatters on the white. That's because it was actually our confetti white cardstock, which of course we haven't sold for many, many years. But we'll do some splatters and some background just like that. But let's go ahead and add some squiggly lines. So I'll put this here so you can see. I am just going to copy best I can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Let's go this direction. I'm not going to use a ruler. Huh? Not bad, huh? Fun. Okay, I'm gonna do that for all my butterflies. You can do this with any stamp, right? Any stamp set. Having said that, I don't know that I wanted to do it with these ones because they're a different type of line art. And I like them just the way they are. Okay, time to add a background to our card base. So I'm going to do one in each style, the 11 by 4 1/4 and the 8.5 by 5 1/2. So I'm going to start with my Highland Heather. Normally, where you're seeing the lines, that would be on scrap paper. But because I know that's going to be hidden, I'm not worrying about it. So again, looking at this example, it's got the words and the script behind it. So I'm just gonna wing it using the stamps in my sketch butterflies. I am going to start by stamping the sentiment, "You brighten up so many of my days," which I want to be along the side like this one is here. Sorry. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of position this. Yeah, I think that's gonna work really good. So I'm just gonna stamp this right here. And same thing. And for a little fun, I'm gonna bring in my big butterfly. Figuring this out as I go, stamping on the fly. No pun intended. I'm gonna stamp that right there, like so. Ink up again. Now I'm going to stamp right over top of this because when I put this on, I'm losing a lot of that butterfly and I want some butterfly wings over here. So I'm just going to stamp it down here. See? I think it's going to look really pretty. Do the same thing to this one. And then I'm going to stamp on some more of these sentiments. Let's see now. If that's going to go on there, we want this to go on the side too. So I'm just going to put this right here. Now I'm going to take my butterflies and stamp the smaller ones on there. So I kind of want one right between here. Oh, and look at, I covered that up, so that's okay. I didn't mean to do that. Fiddly dee. I was just trying to get this one in. Right, now that I have my stamping done, I'm going to do some splattering. So I'm going to take my block, tap it right onto my Highland Heather ink pad. So I'm bringing in my water painter and I'm just going to dip it into my water. I find that's working better for me, picking up some of that ink. Really, really being generous with the water. Okay, now I'm going to take some of the water off the brush and bring in my cards. And I'm going to splatter. Okay. Splatter as much as you like. The water on your brush, the bigger the splatters you're going to have. I find it works well to move your paper around as you're splattering. Okay, there's my splatters. Right, I'm going to glue on my butterflies. So I'm just lining this up so that you can actually see that this sentiment continues on down here. And also make sure that this is in the middle of my card base. Pull it down a bit. Okay, and the next one. To fix this piece right here, all I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment on a scrap piece of basic white and pop it on. Now the next thing on this card is I have a little bit of ribbon. I'm going to use paper. I'm pulling out my stylish shapes and I'm going to just go ahead and die cut some cardstock using this die. Now that I have my banners cut, I'm going to take my bone folder and I'm going to go underneath and on top of my paper to break down the paper fibers. This is another oldie but a goodie technique that I think sometimes we forget about. And it's really cool because it gives your paper more flexibility so that you can bend it and move it the way that you want for the project you're working on. And what's really cool too is when you do something like this, you can actually peel the two plies of paper apart. See? Look. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to do that on both ends. And I haven't thought about this for years, and I honestly don't know what made me think about it today. But it's fun to do something I haven't done in a long, long time. Okay, now that I have the two ends, I'm just going to keep working them a little bit. And what's neat is when you're looking at it on the card, you're going to get that extra little bit of texture. So let's bring this back in, and I'm going to glue this on. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the bottom. And then this card has an embellishment, so I'm going to grab a rhinestone and put a rhinestone gem right on the center. I'm just going to take a big old rhinestone, put it right in the center, lining up with this line. Look at that. resurrected from the inspiration sheet from so many years ago. So I am going to go ahead and finish up the remainder of the cards. For this one, I'm going to pull in a couple of my masks. These are from the Linked Together. And I'm just going to position this one down using my fresh freesia. And I'm just going to go right over. I'm not going to cover the entire area. That's the first mask. Look at that. Fun, fun, fun. And then I'm going to bring this one in. Do the same thing. Okay, then let's bring in, look at all these fun masks that we can use. I'm going to bring this one in and I'm going to line it up. And I think I'm going to bring in the Highland Heather and go on top of that with Highland Heather. See what happens. I'm not covering the entire mask, I'm just going here and there. Like, how fun is that? Oh my gosh, these masks are so cool. Let's use a different one for this one. Let's use, shall we use this one? Dooby dooby doo, I don't know what to do. Yes, I say we do. I think that would look pretty cool. So I'm just lining them up. And again, adding on my color. Oops, some areas got a little bit darker. That's all right. Okie doke. Let's see how that looks. That looks really awesome. Look at that. These Linked Together masks. Listen, they may not look like much, but I'm telling you, magic. Magic, magic, as you clearly just saw. And that was, I mean, there's other ways you can use these masks. Okay, splatter time. Since I have my Highland Heather out, I'm going to stick with that for my splatters. Just tell you, I am so loving just these card bases, you guys. I would be happy just to put a sentiment on that and call it a day. Like, honestly, Absolutely beautiful, in my opinion. I think that just needs a sentiment, don't you? Like, you could easily make a beautiful set of note cards. I love that. Okay, but let's move on because we do have our beautiful pieces. My goodness, I love this so much. Like, I don't know that I can cover that up. I don't know that I can. I don't think I can. I have to do another one because I love that too much to cover it up. I'm going to bring in elements of text. I'm going to use the typewriter text, and I'm going to stamp that with a little bit of Highland Heather. Stamp a little bit here. Here. I'm going to stamp off and just stamp a little bit right there. I really love this. Like, now I'm equally in love with this as I am with this one because I love the watermarks. Like, oh my gosh. Another one where I could just stamp a sentiment, put a little embellishment, send it off. I love them both. Oh my goodness. Now I love this one more than this one. Oy. Okay. Stick with the program, Tina, so you can stamp more. You can stamp more. Oh yes, see, look how pretty that is. Now, I don't know, that does look good though. I was going to stamp wishing you a happy birthday in black right here, which would look really good, right? But I'm also really liking that pop of purple. Decisions. So let's just go ahead and get this popped on, and then I'll figure out the sentiment in a second. And I'm gonna stamp "You Brighten Up So Many of My Days" from Sketch Butterflies with black onto that Highland Heather strip, and hope that I get it straight. Yes, I did. Excellent. Okay, let's look at the jumping off part. This was the inspiration. And here's the completed card that I used using current Stampin' Up! Product and just, you know, tweaking things with the butterfly background, and instead of the ribbon I used the paper, right? Okay, then we had this one. Then I did it in the blues, and I started getting cheeky and started changing things around. And this one I just glued on versus fraying up my paper. Okay, then we had the framed scenes, all using that same layout, and then framed scenes with the lighthouse, and then the stamp set with Under the Moon. Right? All from that one inspiration, all from that one card. Wow, that was a super fun way to spend my 23rd anniversary with Stampin' Up. And I had a blast making these cards. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I had full intentions of making a card, one from each of these inspiration sheets, right? Yeah, no, because this video got too long because I just got carried away and I was having way too much fun. So I'll do a video each coming up. So there'll be a video where I take a design on this one, and this one, and I may come back to this as well. So that's what I'm going to do for my next upcoming videos. So be sure to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already so you don't miss anything. That little bell, click that. And you guys, every time you subscribe, anytime somebody subscribes to my channel, really helps support me and encourages me to keep putting out these videos. And I always hope that you guys get lots of inspiration and ideas. Case, copy, tweak, use my ideas however you like. But bottom line, have fun and enjoy. I appreciate you all so much. Take care and happy stamping.